Hey guys, it's the gifted one, Nita, and this video I am dedicating to Caitlyn Jenner. Now we all know that every Kardashian in the Kardashian household is green with envy by the fact that nobody is talking about them anymore. Because Caitlyn has stolen all the thunder. I got so fucking tired of hearing about, don't get me wrong, Khloe I can get with. Because Khloe's not really in the press as much as fucking Kim Kardashian, her goddamn mama, and Kourtney Kardashian with Scott, I'm just, oh my god. And so, first off, let's talk about what I think of her Vanity Fair spread. Then we're going to talk about the haters. And then we're going to talk about the praise. So let's start. Now, when I saw the cover, I was like, she looks beautiful to me. Seriously. I was amazed. Especially when you sit back and you think of the reality that this woman who is sitting, quite suggestively in a small little, I'm horrible with, fashion and shit, and small little, bustier, I don't know. And, with such, such feminine features, used to be a man. Whoever did Caitlyn's plastic surgery, bravo, fucking bo, because it was just wow. I mean, wow. And then I've heard people everybody has been comparing Caitlyn to all different kinds of white women, but the one out of all of them that I would have to say she kind of looks similar to is Jessica Lange, but.
Was revealed for the first time Monday morning in pictures and video from Vanity Fair. But while her face was new to the world, it also sort of wasn't. Because everybody thinks she looks like Jessica Lange. All right, let's do a little side-by-side action here. Bottom line, we see it. Seriously, we really see it. Both Caitlyn and Jessica's names were trending on Twitter Monday because everyone sees it. They are close in age. Jessica is 66, Caitlyn is 65, and Jessica often brings the old school Hollywood glam to red carpets and roles. Caitlyn definitely did just that in her Vanity Fair photo shoot. And the Daily Beast got a comment from Lange about the comparisons. First, they had to explain to the actress what trending on Twitter meant, but when she figured it out, she said, quote, "That's so wonderful. Well, now I'm going to have to look for that picture. Look and stare."
I don't know. And I'm not saying this because, some people kind of take it are you threatened by her? And no. But I do kind of find it weird that now all of a sudden that Bruce Jenner has gone from Bruce Jenner to Caitlyn Jenner, from a him to a her. Now everybody it seems like they're trying to validate her femininity by comparing her to other women. And I'm like, can't she just be her fucking self? Does it suck you in more that she's a woman if we compare her with other women? And I'm like, why are you doing that? For fucking what? I just don't see the point. And then another thing that kills me is that Jon Stewart, who I'm a big fan of, talked about the sexism of the praise and all the attention that Caitlyn has been receiving by saying, when you were Bruce Jenner, we could talk about your athleticism. We could talk about your business acumen. But now that you're Caitlyn, we're just talking about your look.
Caitlyn, when you were a man, we could talk about your athleticism, your business acumen, but now you're a woman. Your looks are really the only thing we care about. Which brings us to phase 2 of your transition, comparative ability.
I'd say it looks a lot like that chick from American Horror Story.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange.
Who's hot?
Do you think Caitlyn is actually hotter than Kris?
Okay, I have to ask the most important question. Does she have a better body than Kim Kardashian?
And that was such a brilliant estimation of American society, because basically at the end of the day, no matter what people tell you about how, no, it's really how intelligent you are, and it's really how nice you are as a person, and it's really, it's about personality and intelligence and not looks. That's full of shit. Look at her stepdaughter. Her stepdaughter is fucking infamous for getting rich and building a fucking empire off her body, off her looks.
Naked for the camera and did a photo shoot on the beach. And no doubts it was sexy. But what is it that makes Kim insecure? She revealed she has a skin condition called psoriasis, which makes her hesitant to take her clothes off for the photographers. And what better way to get rid of it by bearing it all? In the new shoot, we see Kim sprawling on the beach showing off her fabulous curves while covering her skin in just a bit of lotion. Well, that's Kim's way of accepting things. For more Hollywood updates, keep watching our channel.
Okay? I mean, I'm just happy that for once, and I love that Caitlyn stole the spotlight from them, and I'm like, yes. Because you know what? As a woman, and as a black woman, it sincerely pissed me off when people were so giving Kylie Jenner praise for her fucking lips.
My heart literally broke. They were like they asked you? Yeah, they were like, so on this lip talk, how do you feel about it? And I was like,
Kylie decided to plump her lips. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you've done something, though, it is right to cop up to it. If you avoid the question, you're gonna look like a liar.
I'm like, black women, fucking Latino women, have had full lips for centuries. And we get criticized for our shit. You know what I'm saying? If you think about the old minstrel days, it was blackface, big ass white eyes, and red fire truck lips. To emphasize how big our lips were. And I was like, Kylie Jenner goes to a fucking plastic surgeon and gets her lips, gets lips injections, and all of a sudden she gets praise. But I am happy that she has stolen the thunder from her stepchildren, her children, and her ex-wife. Because everybody knows that Kris Jenner, or Momager, certainly doesn't like it when people steal her children's thunder.
She was in the dark about Bruce Jenner's desire to transition, asking rhetorically, why would you want to be married and have kids if this is what you wanted since you were a little boy? The reporter behind the cover story breaks it down for ET.
Caitlyn insists that when she met Kris, which was in 1991, she'd been taking hormones for about 4 years. And you take hormones, you're going to have effects. One of the effects is breast growth. Chris's response is, I didn't know. I thought it was more, a man boob kind of thing. Bruce at the time did not ever say to me, look, I have gender dysphoria. He insists as Bruce that the reason he left the marriage was 80% because of the way he was treated and 20% only because of the gender issues. I think Kris felt, I can fix this. I'm going to be a great wife. And I think Bruce felt, it's going to go away.
And I'm just like, go, Caitlyn, go. Now, the haters. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I was at work, and some of my coworkers were talking about Caitlyn Jenner. And one of them in particular spoke about how they couldn't take her seriously as a woman because, number one, she used to be a man, and number two, her arms and her legs still looked masculine and therefore negated her whole femininity. Because I was thinking to myself, this is someone who is a transgender woman, okay? The amount of surgeries and the amount of hormones, the point that I'm trying to make, the process of going from a male to a female or from a female to a male is not something that is going to happen overnight. It's not something that's going to happen in a month. It's not something that's going to happen in half a year. It's not even something that will happen in a year. It is a long, strenuous process that is very, very, very costly. Want to go the full-fledged transition, okay? So the main fact that during that in the Vanity Fair cover, her face is very, you could tell she's had surgery to soften her features and to create a more feminine image, but the arms and the legs are still those, you can still kind of see the muscle. You can still see the definition, things of that nature. But still, this is a woman who is in the process of transitioning. This is not look at me world, I'm a complete woman. No. This is a woman who is still a work in progress. You have to look at her almost like the equivalent of like an artist starting a painting. Okay? You might look at it and go, that's shit. You said that was supposed to be fucking Grand Canyon. It don't even look like the Grand Canyon. You know why? Because it's a goddamn work in progress. So, I hate it when women, and it's mainly women, who get so critical and so nicky-picky about the smallest fucking shit.
There is a bobblehead bitch who is good for TV. Not that you only said cast that you a fucking joke.
Who gives a fuck if Caitlyn's legs and arms still look masculine? She did just come out as a woman, maybe about a few weeks ago, after going on, if I'm not mistaken, Diane Sawyer basically announced it to the world that he, as Bruce Jenner, that he was going to transition.
We're talking about all this stuff. Yeah, let's take the damn ponytail out.
A symbolic moment after 65 years. In a sense, we start again.
Are you a woman?
Yes, for all intents and purposes, I am a woman. People look at me differently. They see you as this macho male, but my heart and my soul and everything that I do in life, it is part of me. That female side is part of me. That's who I am. I was not genetically born that way. As of now, I have all the male parts and all that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways we're different, okay? But we still identify as female. And that's very hard for Bruce Jenner to say. Because why? I don't want to disappoint people.
Not a lot of time to all of a sudden 100% look like a woman. So, fuck off. I love the support that Laverne Cox, she's my girl. You know, I love, not saying like Caitlyn ain't cool. You know, Caitlyn's cool. But I love Laverne Cox because, you know, I ain't gonna lie, she's a sister. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, especially when I feel like black people, period, we don't get enough attention unless it's negative attention, unless it's demonizing us, or, you know, trying to take away our humanity. But I feel like, especially in the LGBT community, people of color are especially overlooked, underrated, are certainly, you know, silenced by the overall LGBT community. They tend to focus on their issues and therefore diminish or, you know, cast aside the issues of members of the LGBT community who are people of color. Same thing with the feminist movement. You know what I'm saying? Where you have white women only addressing the issues of white women and not factoring in the double jeopardy that black women experience, that Latina women experience, that Asian women experience, and the stereotypes that are associated with our races in comparison to the stereotypes that generally aren't really that bad, which are associated with white women. So, just as there's been a lot of praise for Caitlyn Jenner, I think it's high time that all the various, you know, LGBT is, if I'm not mistaken, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Now, don't get me wrong, it's longer. You have queer, intersex, there's probably a few others. But the transgender community is one of those it's one of those groups within the overall LGBT community that definitely does not get the time of day. And I think it's high time, you know, for people to finally have awareness towards the issues that affect them, and for them to just have their time in the sun, to finally be noticed. You know what I'm saying? Most people, it's not about accept me. It's just about notice me. Don't make me invisible. Don't make me feel like I'm not here. There are tons of transgender individuals out there who feel like their stories, even within the LGBT community, are not being heard, their issues are not being addressed. So, you know, within the heterosexual community, they damn sure aren't going to be addressed. So I love women like Caitlyn Jenner, and I love women like Laverne Cox.
Glass in for me. Oh, wait, hold on. My mother just ripped the Monique Lullier dress. This is my mother. She got here this morning. And, okay, one last thing. So when I was a kid, as you saw in the video, I loved to dance. And all my teachers often said to my mother, take your child out of dance. You're going to turn him, at the time, gay. And she got a lot of flack for it, but she let me stay in dance classes, and she let me do what I loved. And it's been quite a journey. But oh my God, my mom's here. But my mom has been supporting me and loving me my whole life, and I wouldn't be here without her. My mama.
Who are bringing forth, and, you know, there's tons of others. They're both, and there's many more who are pioneers, who are definitely pushing forth, who are basically bringing awareness to the transgender community and are basically opening up the ability for people to have a dialogue or a conversation about what it means to be transgender, what it means to transition, what it means to not feel like your gender is the same as your biological sex, because people tend to think sex and gender are the same thing, and they're not. The issues that affect them. Tons of transgender women out here who are getting beaten up.
They were kicking me in my face, kicking me in my back.
It's hard to watch the attack. 22-year-old Chrissy Polis says two girls, one 14, the other 18, spit in her face, threw her to the ground, and repeatedly kicked her in the head. Polis says the girls jumped her when she tried to use the bathroom after one of their boyfriends tried to hit on her. The vicious attack escalated when they realized she was a transsexual.
People who were like me and who are like me, it's a shame they have to go outside every day wondering if they're going to get hurt or if they're going to get robbed or raped.
And they're being killed.
A woman of color has been murdered in the United States, this time in Philadelphia. The victim is London Kiki Chanel, and she was stabbed to death by a man who has already come forward and admitted to the crime. Raheem Felton confessed to the murder and is in custody, according to BuzzFeed. Felton, who allegedly stabbed Chanel multiple times, is charged with possession of an instrument of crime and murder. He's scheduled for a preliminary hearing on June 3rd. Now, this is a story that I think needs to be talked about in the media, especially considering the topic of, transgender people coming out, raising awareness about some of the things that they go through. There are some studies indicating that up to 41% of transgendered individuals attempt suicide at some point in their lives. So they're getting murdered by people. They're going through severe emotional trauma that could lead them to attempting suicide. And so this is just another woman who had to suffer from this.
Some men out there buy into the fact that you're a woman, and then they take you home, and let's say you start to have sex, or you start to get there, and you haven't transitioned fully, where you still have your penis, and they freak the fuck out. Now, you have threatened and you have placed them into a position where they feel like their masculinity is being questioned or their masculinity is being threatened. And now they go into fucking alpha male mode where they feel like they have to prove themselves that they're not gay and that they don't like men. There's tons of transgender women out there that go through so much hate, so much anger, just because they chose to be something different than what nature ordained them to be. As long as you are happy with who the fuck you are when you go to sleep at night, that is what life is all about. Because where my family comes from, they bring God into it and stuff like that. But I just feel like people should be able to live their life however they choose to live it. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. And when you die, you're the person who has to be okay with the decisions that you made. What better thing to finally take that leap and say, yes, I was born a man or I was born a woman, but I feel like I am a man or I am a woman, and I'm going to take forth the step and start the process towards being who I really am, rather than going through life completely lying to yourself and the people who love you and the people that you come in contact with, just because society deems that if you're born with a penis, you have to be a man, and if you're born with a vagina, you have to be a woman. So, this is Nita, signing off. Deuce.